I always tell people that I'm a completely different person than when I first started. Before I did College Pro, I was really emotional and like everything set me off. Everything was the end of the world. And now I can look at things objectively and from a different perspective.
I've noticed, me personally, I've taken my experience into different facets of my life, through my relationship, my wife, being a better son to my mom and dad, better brother to my sister, and just being a better friend.
I've learned that I can handle more than I ever thought that I would be able to. The biggest thing I've learned is that there's always room for more growth.
I think there's a lot of things I've really learned, especially when I became a coach. It amplified what I wasn't very good at. And so having someone else point out and give me a third-party perspective on what I really need to get better at has really helped me in everything else in my life.
I mean, I've definitely learned a lot about my own kind of habits and tendencies that I've somewhat had to battle through as far as like procrastination and things like that, and it's made me more aware.
I realized that my limits are in extremes, so I can be pushed pretty far, so when adversity happens, I don't really sweat it.
I've become more of a planner than I used to be, which is really great. It was a difficult transition for me because I was a go with the flow kind of guy. And that worked for me for a long time, but when you really have a set goal and a set idea for what you want to do, you have to plan. So that's been one thing that's really been a difference for me.
I didn't know I was able to gather people together, that I had a lot of influence on where we go, what we do, or making events fun, because that's just how I do things.
I think College Pro definitely humbled me. I came in very, very arrogant, and I think it definitely humbled me. I think it also taught me introspection.
Looking back at the time that I spent with College Pro, I think my stress level or my tolerance is a lot higher.
I realized it's important for me to take action right away versus just thinking and analyzing how a situation is going to go or needs to go.
Where I was heading was not down a path of business. It wasn't anything I was interested in. It was sports. It was only sport. So as a freshman in college, I quickly learned that business was a place I enjoyed. It's very similar to sports. It's about goals, it's about goal setting, it's about reaching those goals, striving to be your best, always striving to get better at what you're doing.
Wanted to get into business, and I wasn't a business student. It's kind of a crash course in business over the last 3 years, and now I'm going to run a $2 million division where 4 years ago I was a pre-law student.
I've really learned just to have faith in myself and the decisions that I make.
When I graduate college, I'm going to be ready to run a business. I mean, it's on.
I know what it takes to succeed out there. I know what the world looks like beyond a college setting. I know what the real world is. And it's just a very exciting, somewhat scary prospect that I'm very happy to have gained.